some in the summer, and it was in particular related to social justice. And there's still a lot more material there to cover, but this seemed like an opportunity for a little switch up and a little change. Julian had gotten the Eagles CD, as I explained earlier, because he, working with the Shriners, did the, if you haven't heard this, charities volunteer to do certain things like, manage traffic or seating, things like that, ushering. They were manning the table for the CD sales. Once the concert opens, the lights go down, these volunteer staffers are invited to come in and take any of the available seats that are there at no charge.
Oh, nice.
He has done better at other concerts he's been at than this one. He says his back was actually to the brick wall on this one. But then he brought this and gave it to me. I was listening to it and thinking about what to do for the, and I only have to do 4 classes because then Sandy's going to pick this up as a Methodist membership type class for July, but she's gone at least 2 weeks in June. So if this doesn't work out, we can do other topics as we come along. When I was listening to the CD, in particular, Your Lying Eyes caught my attention because it's the story of David and the young woman who is very beautiful, whose name I cannot pronounce. And I went on to my pronunciation guide, but I don't have the net here. And it gives you all
Bathsheba?
No, that was the... this is then in his old age.
Oh.
And
I didn't know he had an affair in his old age.
Well, it got me to then rereading the story. A beautiful young virgin is selected to keep him company and sleep with him at night
Keep
to
him
keep
warm.
him warm.
Keep him
Yeah,
warm.
right.
Yes.
That's
That was
right.
the greatest story I've ever heard. Reason, excuse, whatever.
The part of the whole thing here then is that then I went back to read the story and then do a little more checking on the various aspects of it. She had to be a virgin in particular because then if upon examination she was not, then that would prove that David was still potent. But if he is impotent, he cannot be king. How about that? Who would have thought? So, in the process here, okay, and this is what pop culture can do for your biblical study, okay? Now that part's over, so when you go to talk to Sandy and say, what was that idiot doing, then we'll know what happened here. Okay. And then the other songs are related, the songs of Solomon. When you look at like the first 2 or 3 that I had listed with this one, it's about people being attracted to one another. And then what does their love mean and that sort of thing. Okay, 70s mindset
Sure.
and that. So anyway now, the way it works out, remember, Solomon is third in line for the crown, to be king. Absalom, the eldest, is out already petitioning to become king and has declared himself king in one of the outlying areas. This upsets the court and David. They send an envoy over, and there is some sort of a battle or engagement. Absalom being known for his being extremely handsome, beautiful head of hair. I mean, just beautiful. Riding his mule, and by the way, then they rode mules, and their feet probably came pretty close to the ground. They could almost pedal them. And when you see some of the old biblical footage, it's interesting to see that because they look so stupid going like this. And you're thinking of David on the horse and, the charge and all of that. He runs through a thicket in a tree, and remember, his hair gets caught, and he's there hanging.
Yeah.
And then Joab, I guess it is, comes with 3 daggers and say he had already ordered his men to kill him, and they're like, "Whoa, no, he's first in line, dude." Goes up, stabs him with the 3 daggers, and then the guys finish him off. When they then get back and announce to King David that Absalom is dead, David is really upset, even though he had sent them to stop him from taking the kingdom. There is
They weren't supposed to have
there.
killed him.
Huh?
They weren't supposed to have killed him,
Right.
as I recall.
Yeah. They were to stop the uprising but not kill Absalom. But the reason that Joab wanted to then go ahead and kill him is because Absalom had wronged him. It's in the book.
Yeah.
Catch up on the story.
Come on in, Carol.
I said, well, where is everybody? And he said, well, you can go to Sunday school. And I said, there's nobody in there. He's still there in the back. So.
Yeah.
Plenty of,
You
we're
were
hiding in
hiding
the
from
corner.
me.
Yes, right.
Yeah.
But you saw us walk this way.
So, we're doing the Eagles, Your Lying Eyes. You remember all of that. So, when
Do you want anything to drink?
Absalom is now out of the way, number 1. Second son, again, I went through the pronunciation of his name just this morning again on Bible pronunciations, but it won't do us any good. He decides that with David near death, that what he wants is to have, well, I guess David has already died, to have a young lady, the beautiful young lady, as his wife. And
David decides that?
no,
The other brother.
The other brother.
the second in line who is now first in line.
Okay.
And
That'll work.
having decided that he wants it, it turns out that it. I have to back up. After Absalom is dead, David declares Solomon king, and at Bathsheba's request, because
And was Solomon Bathsheba's son
second son,
by
yeah,
David?
right. The first son was died a week later,
Okay.
struck by God's hand.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Because of Uriah and the Hittite being killed to make Bathsheba an available woman. Okay. Now here we are. The eldest son has been implicated in trying to usurp the throne, but no big deal. And Solomon says that as long as he does nothing wrong, his life is spared. What it turns out then, second in line asks Bathsheba to approach David about, or Solomon, will read it again.
One of them.
Yeah, that he would be able to have the young concubine as his wife. Biblically, it is forbidden for anyone to take any of the king's widows, many they may be, as their own. So the second line has screwed up. He has now done something bad. He is then put to death for his illicit request here. So basically, how that relates is, in the song, there is a woman who has married an older man, and hands cold as ice, so apparently she kept him warm at night as well. But then she has an attraction to a younger man across town, somehow second in line, and this young woman must have had some encounters, otherwise where would the attraction have come from? And there's no detail about that in the Bible, and hope that none come available to us.
Well,
Well,
was the
that's-
Eagle song written based on that Bible story?
No,
Oh,
when I
okay.
listened to it, this is what I
The
thought of.
correlation is amazing now, and you know what's
No, it's
funny
human
is
nature.
all the music that I listened to in the '60s
Yeah,
and loved it, and it was because of the music and you know the harmony and all that
Mhm.
kind of stuff, and into the '70s and beyond. Has a completely different meaning today. I mean,
Yeah.
and I wonder, you know, because most of those musicians were 5 years older than I was at the time.
Maybe.
I wondered.
possibly.
Well,
Well, for you, they
even
were
more-
5 years or so younger than I was.
wondered where their
Where their
where their
when they
heads
were
really
writing
Yeah.
it.
were. You know,
Yeah.
did they have some kind of insight that I never had until 50 years later
And
or what?
the other three songs then that are also listed before you get to Tequila Sunrise, and that has to do with the wisdom literature and the foibles of strong drink. It's interesting to actually read the lyrics, and I've got the lyrics for all of these, that they're pretty depthy. And then with the song Turning, was that the
Turn,
one?
turn,
Turn,
turn.
the birds.
Everything,
It's right out,
turn,
it's right out of Deuteronomy.
That's on
Yeah.
Ecclesiastes.
There is a season.
Oh, Ecclesiastes.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
And it was interesting because I heard an NPR story on it. That's why I brought it up to Julian, knowing that he would know all of this for me. The commentator is talking about the lyricists and the insights that they had into human nature and mankind and the stages of growing,
I heard
maturing, and that sort of thing. Do your
not in the
literature
Bible.
review. That's yeah. I thought it was Isaiah, but it is Ecclesiastes, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah, the only reason I know that is because at the women's retreat a couple weeks ago, that song was one of the featured songs, and we studied Ecclesiastes. I mean, we read the
Uh-huh.
scripture and all that. So that's the only reason I know that.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I thought that was interesting, and so some of those things were all kind of turning in my mind, and thought that perhaps others might enjoy taking a look back, and we would just kind of look over the songs and think about what they meant possibly to us then and what they mean now, and
Yeah.
That is neat, and the same thing goes for the Bible. Things that you read in the Bible, and you reread them again today.
Yeah.
And if you really do, any kind of meditation on them at all, the meanings constantly change. I can read passages that today are going to be different than tomorrow, are going to be different. There's always
You
some
can-
kind of new meaning. That,
You can
that
read
comes
different
forth.
translations, and the subtle differences in words will bring out whole new meanings. I just love that.
It is, yeah, and I don't know, that there's just something about being able to relate to.
yeah, and I find the wisdom literature now, Psalms and a collection of understanding worth about 4,000 or 5,000 years of getting it wrong numerous times, and the other one that I want to go back and read is called Letters to Pepe, or Notes to Pepe. It was an Egyptian scribe writing to his, making notes for his son, who's going to come up through the profession as well. And one of them is, always keep your beer barrel, at the front door, the Egyptians brewed right there at the door, full. So hospitality is an important aspect of life, and then keeping your customer base, I would presume, whatever.
Yeah.
Friends.
But, and then the other one is the Tales of the Golden Ass. I think it predates almost all the biblical literature. The guy is of somewhere in the Arabian Peninsula, something like that, maybe North Africa, is transformed into an ass, and then is used as a beast of burden to travel through the entire Mediterranean area, and then when he gets back, apparently he is converted back or something, and then he writes the tales and tells you what is going on in the world.
That'd be
Interesting,
interesting.
yeah.
So,
It is.
And that's a book?
yeah. Has anybody read it?
No, I have
okay.
never
No,
I didn't even know there was a
Okay.
book like, what is the,
Tales of Pepe.
Tales?
No, those are notes to Pepe, and then Tales of the Golden Ass.
Tales of the Golden Ass?
Yeah.
I gotta
So-
make it out.
Oh.
I gotta look
Yeah,
that
that would be an interesting
So,
one for a book
book-
discussion
one.
club.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, by the way, right now we are reading
Philip Yancey,
uh,
the Bible
the
that
Bible
Jesus read.
that Jesus read. And it is then Old Testament stuff. And that was, again, a part of what got me thinking Old Testament again. And when I'm hearing these other things, that kind of brought it together. Okay.
5 minutes.
I have to